the fire. It's all about the passion. It's all about living this, creating music. Don't just copy music. I think there's something about sitting down with a guitar and just strumming that's better than any drug, any liquor, anything can do, that'll bring you to another outlet that makes you feel like heaven.
Frank, thank you so much for joining us here. You know, the sessions and the artist series, what we're doing here is to kind of capture the message of different musicians to deliver to the next generation, for them to hear the story, the challenges, the successes, and the perseverance. And you really have persevered. And I am a huge fan of Anthrax. I've known Charlie Benante for years. He's a phenomenal player. Yeah. I love his playing. So tell me about, in the early days of yourself, where did music enter your life and how did you begin this entire journey?
You know, you bring up Charlie, and as you know, we're related. It's weird because I don't know. Do you know he's my uncle?
Yes, absolutely.
It's totally weird. He's 2.5 years. He's going to hate me for this. He's 2.5 years older than me. He probably looks younger than me. My dad took off when I was 10, and I went to go live with my grandmother, who's Charlie's mom. So Charlie was always a musical kid. 5 years old, Charlie was the best drummer on the block of all the adults. He was incredible. I'm kissing up. You better pay me. But the truth is, he was just an incredible thing in music. He just had this musicality about him. He was always awesome. I saw that. I said, I would like to play. And there's actually some pictures. If you ask Charlie, there's actually some pictures that we have of me with a guitar and him and I just, I think he had a drum set. We were just standing next to it. I didn't play, but I wanted to be in it. It was really young too. We were really, I would think I was 7, 8 years old. I watched him progress, drums. So I always dabbled in guitar, but I never really learned. So he got into guitar, and him and my friend Mike Nicolari, Mike, got me to start playing guitar because I was inspired. I played guitar way before bass.
Did you take lessons at that time?
I did. I took guitar lessons in the Bronx, and I can't say there's a lot of them. I went into the guitar lesson, and I kind of knew some stuff, and they were teaching me A, B. I was learning Beatles songs. I was playing all these different songs already, and I felt like I was wasting my money. I saw what Charlie was doing. Again, he had some lessons in drums, but he was also learning by ear and listening to the records and copying it. And I thought that was a great way, inexpensive way to do it because there was no money. I was in the Bronx. You know, I worked in my Uncle Joe's Deli. Think about it, there's no money. I'm making $2 an hour. What am I going to spend money? Where am I getting all this money from? I learned the guitar from these albums. I love saying albums. I was learning the bass parts on guitar. And Charlie and my friend Mike were the ones that tell me, you know, you're playing the bass parts. I wasn't playing the guitar parts. I heard the bass parts through those songs that I was learning. That was my teaching.
So
really.
Bass guitar found you.
Bass guitar found me. I was lucky. I just heard it that way though. It was always bass first. I heard the whole song together. I didn't hear drums, I didn't hear vocals, I didn't hear guitar. The bass always stuck out. I don't know why that happened, but that's the way I heard it.
Beautiful. So at that point, did you start playing with other musicians?
I started playing with Charlie. Yeah. I started playing with Charlie and my friend Mike. I remember Charlie got into, again, Charlie's a big part of my life. He got into this band, not Anthrax, it was a band before that. I think it was a band called Shire. Yeah. And I used to be a roadie for them. I used to help them. When I say roadie, I didn't know how to change a string. You know what I was lifting seats. I was lifting everything. It was this young little Guido kid from the Bronx. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, right? So I was, there one guy, they threw me a few bucks and I used to get in. I was 16 years old. 15, 16 years old, I used to get into these bars that they were playing. It's cool, I could have a drink. You know, nobody said anything, right? So I used to be their roadie. It was a great learning experience. I learned the whole club thing that way. And I watched them play, and I said, this is cool, man. This would be cool to do if I could learn and really put my mind to it.
So who was in the band at that time? Charlie's playing drums? Who else?
It was just local dudes.
Just really
good
guys?
Really good local dudes, local people that were just good musicians. They were all good singers, good musicians, just a local scene. It was really cool.
You know, Charlie is an extremely natural talent.
Yes.
He really is, just born for the instrument the way it is. So anyone that would play with him had to be at a certain standard.
Yes.
Which he always did all of his life.
Yeah.
So what happened now at this point now? You know, when did you start playing?
It went to Rush, you know, because I started playing bass. And I tell you, Dom, as soon as I did that, it was a click.
Yeah.
It clicked in. Oh, it was like that oh yeah moment, right? This is what it's supposed to be. And then it just picked up stuff. And again, my learning process is through records. In the Bronx, New York, there's this famous, well, for us it was very famous, record store called Records and Stuff.
Yeah.
Where we used to wait in line for the next Kiss record to come out, next Iron Maiden, you know, Geddy Lee, you know, Rush. So what I would do is work at my Uncle Joe's deli all week. I come home from school at 3:30, go to work till 8 o'clock, make my money. Fridays, all my Guido friends would go, and I say Guido with love. I understand, it's all love. Because you can see, it can sound bad. So all my friends, like the disco and stuff, they would go to clubs on Friday nights, right? And they would go out and party and booze up and all. I don't want to do that. The new Rush album was coming out that day. My money was going to go to the new Rush album, and I was going to go in my room and learn the whole damn thing.
Beautiful.
That was my whole process, and that was it, man. Work and learn, work and learn. And that's how that was my schooling.
But what a great discipline that was. I mean, you really kind of listened, and you had to kind of develop your ears to hear.
Yeah.
You played along with the parts.
Always.
And, you know, technique was developed because of that. So some of the tempos you had to play, you had to really
Always.
develop your chops to work.
Non-stop. And plus, remember, this is album, for those of you who don't know who albums are, the needle had to keep going back, right? The needle had to, so every time I wanted to learn that little Geddy Lee part, what the hell was that? I got to, and you get so into it, I have to go back and, you know, it was like that. And then cassettes, you know, and after that, you know.
Absolutely.
But it was repetition. Repetition was key to learn those parts. So every time, if I heard it differently, I couldn't sleep at night. If something was bothering me, I get up the next morning before school, I'd have to go back to it. It was that obsessive. It was really, it was an obsession. I'm glad to say that.
But obsession is not a bad thing
Not
when
at all.
put towards a positive force.
Agreed.
Okay, so so I want everyone to understand that. That's passion at its highest.
For all the young players, obsession with an instrument is a beautiful thing. If you want to learn that instrument, and I want to learn everything about the bass. I still don't know anything about the bass. I'm learning every day at 53.
Good for you.
I just feel like I want to learn. That's why all the things we did tonight, I'm going to jam with some people. I'm going to learn from a lot of people. I love this. We're very lucky to do what we do, aren't we?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love the fact that I mentioned that we just did a sessions panel seminar here at Terrace State College in Ohio.
You were great at it, by the way.
Thanks. I do my little thing here. But I mean, what's amazing about it is that we spoke about the constant learner. And that's how I see you. You're always constantly learning. Who else were you listening to as far as bass other than someone like Geddy Lee?
Geddy Lee, I mean, again, Geezer Butler, Black Sabbath, you know, Steve Harris, who's now my friend, and Geezer is too. So you know what's weird? When you become friends later on.
How did that make you feel with these idols?
Yeah.
Right? And now you're hanging with them.
Yeah, I'll tell you how it feels. I try not to be fanboy because, you know, it's hard because I can be talking like this, but I still feel like, wow, this is Steve Harris I'm talking to. He's like, you want to go for a beer or something like that.
Yeah.
I would be talking completely off base and stuff. But I still feel like that first time I saw him live on stage, it's like, oh my God. The first time I heard the first Iron Maiden record, it's like, what that did for me. And at this point, I've told him so much, and he goes, it's okay. He just shuts me down. Geezer too. Geezer's the same way. I love Geezer Butler. He's a sweetheart of a man.
Yeah.
I know he'll give me a look. Okay. You know, that's it. I'll just shut it down. And when I ask him too many questions, because I want to learn. I still want to learn, and I want to know what amp did he use on this record. You know, I want to. Steve Harris, did you use this flat wound on every record? Did you flat round strings on everything? I know I'm babbling. This is how I get
this is
with
right.
these
So the
guys.
flat round swing,
Round
strings would be, you know, as opposed to the
round wound or half wound.
Yeah.
It's all about tone. You know, with Steve Harris's tone, it's about flat wound strings. You hear the click of the strings, of the fingers hitting the string. Flat wounds, he pushes it out more. It's more of a flat sound. It's a signature Iron Maiden sound.
Interesting. So, but sometimes you use a pick, right?
I do. Especially, I played with the band called Helmet for a while, for a couple of years. I took a hiatus from Anthrax. I think at that point we needed to take a little break from each other.
Yeah.
And I played with this band Helmet, and I just played specifically, Paige Hamilton, the leader of the group, asked me specifically just to play with a pick. And I found that made me a better bass player. Because it was a whole new process. I knew how to play with a pick, but I didn't dig in with a pick like I did there. So for the first jam we did with Helmet, I remember, I learned 37 songs. 37 just for the first jam. And it was all pick. And I'm a natural finger player. That's how I learned how to play. Yeah. I really thought it made me a better bass player because I was listening more. And we were talking about listening before at the panel, remember?
Absolutely, sure.
How important it is?
Yeah.
I learned it about 10 years ago, how to listen. You know what I mean? I think it's a learning process to listen. It is.
But that happens in music and that happens in life.
In life.
I mean, the more we want to take in and listen and to take that as a part of how we can bring those words and that music into our life will change us.
Absolutely. And it'll make you better. It'll make you better as a player, as a person. And the more you listen to, like, say some of the jams that are going to go on tonight for this jam, I'm just going to hear what's going on first and then I'll come in. Right? Because I don't want to be aggressive at all. I just want to learn. Again, you learn what's going on and then you situate it all. I think it's important.
What an amazing, healthy attitude that is.
It's the only way to go.
Well, not everyone does that, so my compliments to you. So what happened now with Anthrax? How did you finally get into Anthrax?
Okay, again, I was the roadie tech, and again, not knowing, I think I changed a couple of strings. I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. I was bad. Everything was out of tune. I used to pop them. This damn strings. There was no money in those days, so we had to keep getting strings. I had to keep buying strings. I hung out really, and I was friends with them. Remember, being friends with the band really helps get in there. I heard through the grapevine they were going to be looking for auditioning bass players. So of course, I put the word in. Look, I play. You all know me. I'm putting it out there. Long story short, got the audition. Scared. It's weird. You can be friends with these guys forever. Doesn't matter. The audition.
What was that like? Talk about that.
Okay,
because
I'll talk
listen,
about it.
And you grew up with Charlie, so you're in the room with people who you really know.
Yeah.
What was that like when you finally went into the audition?
But Charlie's a stickler.
Yeah.
You know Charlie. He's a stickler.
Absolutely.
And I love that about him because he keeps me honest. And I like that because it's a discipline thing that I guess I got from him. Again, Charlie's like my brother, really, in reality, because we both grew up with our dad, so music was our thing, That's where we connected. This audition, I think he just held back, but he was wishing for me, like pumping for me. Yeah. But at the same time, he said, learn the parts. Yeah. Learn the parts. Yeah. So, and Scott was there. He was great to me, all that stuff. We were friends and stuff. Yeah. But I'll tell you, I was shaking. That was the first thing, Neil Turbin. And he was pulling for me. He was a great dude. He was pulling for me, but I was just nervous. Even though I was friends with these guys, I was hanging with them all the time, I was shaking. And then and just worked. And after the first song, then it was like, okay, it's hangout time. I got through the first song. I think it was Metal Thrashing Mad. I don't know if you know that song.
Sure, man.
Got through that. Yeah, so it was a pretty easy song on bass, thankfully. It was mostly Roadie. I got through it. I said, okay, I can do this. All right, I can do this. I don't know what's going to happen later, but I know I can do this. Yeah. So I don't know who was coming in for the audition, whatever. But I said, all right, I'm friends with these guys. They know and that's a big part of it. If you could hang with the guys on the road, it's a big deal being in a band. You know that, right? Fitting
in with the family and the tribe.
The tribe.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So if you could hang, now I'm not so sure, but, but hey, 35 years and still together.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Absolutely
Isn't
amazing.
it crazy?
Talk about, and you mentioned this on the panel, about how, your dad left at a young age. Yeah. And you were the oldest of 5 children.
Yeah.
And you had to now, all of a sudden responsibility was a big part of your life, and some of your heroes and guiding forces were bass players.
Absolutely.
Just talk about that.
Well, again, I'll say it out loud. My dad, it's a lot of therapy. After a lot of therapy, my dad split when I was 10. I was the oldest of 5. So what I did, there was no money. And plus, I was also getting my ass kicked regularly in the school I was at. I was getting really badly bullied in the school I was upstate. And it was time for me to get out of that school because even the principal said, look, I can't stop this. It was really bad. So I went to go live with my grandmother, Charlie's house.
Yes.
And that's why I think everything's meant to be for a reason, right? Yeah. So I went to live with my grandmother and Charlie and my aunt, which was great. And that's where music really came into my life. And that's where I learned that these people that I looked up to, music, again, the outlet of music. Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second, Dom. The outlet of music for my life was bigger than anything because there was a lot of pain on the other side. Look, Dad just took off, right? No money, all that stuff. Left us on welfare, the whole thing. I mean, everybody's got their sob stories, but this is mine. And my family was great to me, so they gave me everything I needed. My grandmother, my aunts, they were beautiful people. But again, no father figure, so you're always looking for someone to look up to. My heroes were the bass players. These were the guys. And I'll say this because those guys, by the way they played, and even the guys in Kiss, seeing what they did, I said, I want to do that. That was something to look up to look forward to. Fantastic. To look forward to. So when I saw the bass players, I said, man, I want to do that. And I want to play like I was a bass player. So that was it. Even Gene Simmons. I didn't mention Gene, but Gene's an incredible bass player. Underrated bass player also, Gene Simmons. Paul McCartney. these great underrated players. I mean, Paul's got the accolades from being a writer, but listen to his bass playing.
Absolutely.
But these bass players was something that I wanted to get to. I wanted to be there. I guess show me how to be a man. Really, that's what it was for me. And so they were my figures to, yes, I want to be that.
Well, what a beautiful success story. In the process now of having this kind of a life where you really were challenged, you turned this into an incredibly positive result, being with the band and being a great role model now to many other musicians that are happening.
That's a great compliment. I hope I am. I hope I can help somebody.
You absolutely are, because I am in my travels, your name comes up and people say, wow, I follow what Frank is doing. And really it's interesting to hear the fact that what you did is really, this is a story of a movie. I mean, it really has that level of the challenges that you went through and the results of where you are now and what your plans are to continue to doing.
Yeah.
This is huge, huge.
See, that's what's funny, Dom. I don't feel, maybe this is just me, I don't feel like I've done anything. I think I've done okay, but there's something else. We were talking about this on the panel before.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the fire in the belly.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's so much more to get, like even songwriting wise. I think there's a whole different vibe I need to get to.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's there, that energy, that fire in my belly, because I'm hungrier now than I've ever been. I could say that honestly. I have no intention of stopping because I can't wait till the next page. And that's the way it's just the way I live life.
Where do you think that hunger comes from, that strong passion, that deep desire? Where's that come from, Frank?
That's a good question. Insecurity. The insecurity about where's the next money going to come from? How am I going to make a living? How am I going to always be keeping busy because I can't sit still because I'm afraid I'm going to lose out on something. There's something else out there that I have to achieve. Like in this music world, there's so much more. I want to write that next great song. I want to do that thing I've never done. I don't even know what it is, but I know it's there. And maybe that's cool. Maybe it's good not to know. You know, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
I kind of want to live like that because it's a drive. I love that drive exists because it energizes me and it gets my energy up. And I want to make people feel good about it. Music makes people feel good, right? And that's why we do it, you and I, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think I'm at this point where I just want to make people feel good, including myself. So I want to connect. I want to get this vibe together. When we play in front of an audience, right? What is that thing? It's a connection between you and I with an audience, right?
Yeah,
playing live.
Absolutely.
I want to feel that. It's not just the performers. It's all of us together. What kind of energy we making together at that show?
Absolutely.
That's what we do it for, and that's what we live for. That's what I'm doing now.
The Anthrax fans are some of the most dedicated fans I have ever seen at concerts.
Love
it's
them.
Absolutely incredible to see. So
I agree.
Talk about that. Talk about the fans and playing with the band.
And it's not just saying that. I can't just say it because I feel fans because I am a fan. You know, and I'm a fan of this music. I'm a fan of Anthrax. So I feel like I'm a fan who writes the music for the fans being fans, right? We're all fans. So my thing with this is, man, I'm lucky. First off, I know, thank God, I'm lucky to do this. I get it. Yeah. But they keep coming, you know, and since we did that Big Four thing, you know, Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, there's been this whole new generation of fans that came in that maybe never heard of Anthrax or maybe heard the name and maybe, I'll check our record out and became an Anthrax fan. Yeah. So thank you, Metallica, right? You know, thank you, Metallica, for putting the Big Four on. So we're finding this whole new thing go on along with our own fan base, which is just a really great thing to see, even at this time in our life. The last two Anthrax records, people are saying it's our best work yet.
Absolutely.
To hear that, are you kidding me? For all the pain and hardship that goes into these records, look, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. A lot of fighting, not fist fighting, but you know, personality clashes.
Absolutely.
And that happens with writing, and I think that leads to the intensity of the record.
Absolutely.
You know, I think that's important. But it's all great, and I have to say this right now, we're getting along better than we ever have, which is crazy, and we're more excited about Anthrax now than I think we've ever been. That's what I'm really excited about. So right now, I finished this Altitudes and Attitude tour, which is a side group we'll talk about later. I go to Anthrax. I'll meet Charlie and Scott in LA on Monday, and we're writing the new Anthrax record. So it's constant. You know, it's a constant thing. It's a motion, and you have to keep it that way. It's like a shark.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like a shark.
Talk about this band, this other band.
Altitudes and Attitude. Dave Ellison from Megadeth, bass player from Megadeth, and I were doing a bunch of bass clinics for Harkey bass amps, who we love. We've been doing all these joint bass clinics forever, all around the country, pretty much all around the world. We did them internationally. And Dave just comes to me once, because we have jam things we do, and we're jamming to Anthrax songs, Megadeth songs, and we do something together at the end, and we're just jamming some stuff. He goes, Frank, eventually we should just write some songs together, just so we could jam background songs. Well, lo and behold, we started exchanging songs and music. We just started noticing, no, these are real songs. We can't let them just go to background music. Here's what I do. I'm in my living room. I have my little amp. I have my guitar. TV's on mute. I write songs. That's what I do. That's how I do it in my house. So you're watching Altitudes and Attitude is me in my living room. That's exactly what you're hearing. So the songs that I've written in there and some of Dave's stuff that I've written in there, I bring them to open mics, and I live in New York City. Yeah. So I go to the city, these little clubs, open mics. Yeah. You sign up at 7 o'clock. Yeah. Bring an acoustic. It's raw, dude. It's raw. It's you, a microphone, and an acoustic guitar in front of strangers. Don't say, I don't Frank about it. I don't care who I am. I write out John Jones, whatever the hell. You just sign up at 7 o'clock. Sometimes you don't go on till 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. But you could try your stuff out, right? And you'll see the faces. Absolutely. And you'll get the honest opinion. You don't have to ask anything. You see it from the songwriters or whoever it is that try it. And sometimes you make some friends. Say, I really like that. I really, that chorus didn't go well, right? Okay, but I love the rawness of all that. Yeah. It's just out there. It's just put it out and see what happens. So that's kind of what happened with this. So Altitudes and Attitude is that. These are the songs that were recorded. So Dave's like, so what do you think about singers? Should we get a singer? I said, you know what, dude? Number one, no offense to any singer. I just don't want to deal with another personality. I don't. And I kind of, these coming from my heart and my gut, I think I got to convey this. I think I have to bring this out. And that's where it really came. And then Jay Rustin, producer, who's done a million records, especially with Anthrax, he heard it and he said, yeah, it's time. He's a bass player. We recorded it and got a deal with Megaforce Records. And now we've been touring. We just came back from Slash. Slash offered us some dates in Europe, playing these sold out arenas and Slash's down. Oh man, it was so awesome. With this upstart young, older group, but young band. And it was just great. And we're having a great time doing it. So we're playing tonight here. We've been on this run this week, last show tomorrow, and then I start with Anthrax on Monday, juggling.
You're juggling, you're spinning all the plates, you're keeping them up in the air, but you're living the dream. I mean, I think it's an important message for this next generation to hear, the fact that, listen, it's not easy, and you're working incredibly hard, but you're doing it.
Yeah, but you look like this, and you sound like this. You know that's the truth, because right now, I mean, I went to the doctor the other day, I couldn't talk, because we're doing show in the morning for radio stations, press all day, and show at night. So the other night I was like, how you doing? All right, my name's Frank, And so I had to get a shot of cortisone. I don't like doing that. I had to get it for that show. But it does take it out of you a little bit. I just want everybody to know it's not an easy road. And there's not, look, let's be honest. Everybody thinks the rock stars have the millions and stuff. No, we're blue collar guys. We are blue collar guys that need to make a living to feed our families. That's what we're all doing here.
But that's very, very powerful. So tell me about, so Anthrax, you meet up with them, you write?
Yeah, we're writing next week. This is our second or third session right now. So we go in sessions at this point. We meet up in one place around the country where somebody lives. Scott lives in LA, so it's his time. We'll go out there, write with him. Charlie lives in Chicago. I think the next round's in Chicago. I live in New York. The round after that's in New York. So we split it up, make everybody happy.
Fantastic, but it's fantastic to hear how you're keeping the level of intensity there.
Oh yeah.
And physically and mentally, it takes a toll on us. But you really, that dedication and that perseverance that you have is really inspiring. It really is.
Without it, what are we doing? What are we doing if you don't have this? I mean, like we said, I heard some great lines in that panel just a little while ago. If you don't do it, somebody else will.
Absolutely.
And that's the truth.
Absolutely.
Remember, so that fire's got to be there, man.
You know, we have this crowd that listens to the interviews that we've done on the Artist Series for the Sessions panel, and they hear all different types of musicians, young and old, and it's so exciting to have the feedback of what they're saying. So this young audience is out there. In closing, what would you say to this next generation that are watching you, they're fans of you, they're fans of Anthrax, they see what's happening, and they want to be able to pursue their careers? What advice would you give them?
Main advice, because I want to pass the torch at this point. We talked about this before. It's really important. I have a 12-year-old son who I want to pass the torch to. I think the next level of players need to be out there. I know they're out there, they just don't know it. So my thing is the fire. It's all about the passion. It's all about living this music, creating music. Don't just copy music. I think there's something about sitting down with a guitar and just strumming that's better than any drug, any liquor, anything can do that'll bring you to another outlet that makes you feel like heaven. And I'm talking heaven, that it brings you to a place that, thank God for music. And I just want people to taste that. I want people to taste what that feels like, how that fills you up more than any video game. Look, we're in competition with video games right now, aren't we? And I get it, because I have a 12-year-old son who is Fortnite king, right?
Yeah.
I get it. But I play the piano around him. Not that I'm good, but I wanted to get it around him just to inspire him a little bit. So my job here at this age is to inspire, hopefully inspire, and just say, give it a chance. There's an outlet out there. You don't know how beautiful this is, the richness of it all, and what it really means to strum an instrument and create, with the satisfaction of creating something that comes out of you and connecting with somebody else. You have no idea how fulfilling that is. All I wish is for you to feel that one time in your life. And that's what I mean.
Frank, that is so well said and so well felt. Your emotion, your passion, your feeling, your purpose, your essence of life to matter really is incredible.
Well, thank you.
You're inspiring people. It is working. All I ask you to do is just keep it going forward, because you're doing fantastic. On behalf of the Artist Series and the Sessions, we thank you so much, Frank.
Thank
Great
you for having
job.
me. This was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.